So I am Wanessa Winkfield, Houston Christian University LTDE graduate student, and this is, of course, 5319, the course we're currently in. In this course, our culminating assignment is to create an online course for students, and throughout this session, we've planned out each of those segments that we need to have in place in order to develop that course. As we go through, we'll look at the different parts. My computer is having some issues, so I won't select the links even though that is requested and expected. Please know that I am aware. My computer is just having some challenges today. So I'm going to go through and point out the different aspects that I've worked on thus far. So beginning with the outcomes, I have planned for the outcomes that students will focus on. I use the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills standards in order to select from prerequisite outcomes and the outcomes that students will need to complete the assignment. They also have a rubric, as they will be creating a short story as one of their authentic assignments. Authentic assessment assignments. And when I reflected on selecting the outcomes for the course, I realized that I focused more on a unit of learning in a course rather than the complete English Level 2 course. To plan for high school English students may have been a bit extensive in gathering of information, considering the scope and sequence of the outcomes for those students is really broad. So that is if I look at it in its entirety. So I just kind of narrowed it down, but I still use those steps that would be utilized for planning in either situation. So those are the outcomes. As I said, I'm not selecting links because of some technological issues. We are using the CCP strategy for this coursework, where students will consume text, mentor text. They will critique those texts with note-taking, analysis, and annotations of text, and looking at the elements of a short story, and then they will produce that short story themselves. So they will be given reading, audio, and visual resources. And curating adequate resources for learners is necessary to support learning. Those resources need to align with expected outcomes so that they supplement and guide student success. High school students need a lot more. They need additional scaffolding and spiraling in of information for clarification in a setting where they are asynchronous. They're going to be working on their own. There are questions they may have about content that adult learners will have the expertise to manage without that additional specific supplemental support. This is quite challenging for me as an instructional designer because digital tools might be engaging, they might not be meaningful. And so I have to pay close attention to make sure that the tools that I've selected will actually be meaningful in helping the learner reach mastery. Gamification is fun, but it doesn't always guide student mastery. And if it doesn't, then it's futile. So here are the reading resources that you can see, although I'm not selecting the link. There are reading resources for each module that students will focus on. Again, they're reading and audio and visual. From the great YouTube University, I was able to curate a selection of resources that could walk students through if they were needing review or first time experiencing the information. And then our authentic assessments. Learners need authentic real-world opportunities to demonstrate their learning. The opportunity to show how they can transfer knowledge to real settings makes meaning of the learning they've received. The opportunity to synthesize that learning in cross-content settings helps to build lifelong learners. And that's a lot of jargon that just simply means that students can take what they learn, should be able to take what they learn in the English language arts class and utilize that same skill set with concepts for reading in other academic courses. So we want the learning to be beyond the classroom. So I've selected 2 authentic assessments to turn in for the assignment because that's what was required. But of course, I will go in the actual coursework and add all of the other assessments that students will complete daily to demonstrate where they are at that point in the lesson. There is also another authentic assessment that students will complete for while completing a graphic design in Canva, explaining the story, the elements of a short story, and I've added a rubric for that. Both of the rubrics were created in Rubastar. Finally, peer engagement and collaboration. Discussion boards give online learners the opportunity to express their ideas in a forum that is designed for engagement and feedback, and many times this helps to confirm their thinking and build their confidence when they participate in authentic discourse, and especially with their peers, not their teachers, but student to student discourse. And it's my favorite part of instructional design because it gives them the opportunity to deal with open-ended responses or questions and add those interpretive responses based on their learning. So I have selected discussion boards for each week, and that is listed there. That will be utilized in the overall coursework, and there is a rubric that will help to evaluate those responses. So this is the outline of coursework that I've planned for in my digital portfolio. Thank you.